having had the chance to be in the UFC was like an amazing experience. It was a life-changing thing for me. I remember back in 2001 when I had my first fight in Pride. Zuffa, Dana and Lorenzo had just bought the UFC, and they came actually into Renzo's gym trying to get Renzo to fight. And me and Matt Serra ended up signing with the UFC. We had our first UFC fight together. So I have so many great memories from it. It's a big part of all the things that I have done, and a big part of who I am, to have had the chance to be a part of such a great company, but to be a part of the sport. It's something that I love, and I'll always be involved in it some way.
How much emphasis did this one fight have on your decision?
It's hard to judge. Of course, losing in any sport and anything, it's terrible, from amateurs all the way to pro. And of course, a loss always weighs on you. I remember all my losses. I don't remember most of my wins. It's something that you end up carrying in your back pocket. To me, probably always. You always think, man, I wish I could have that one back. I wish I could have done that different. But you learn as time goes by to let go. I can't really say that, the fact that I lost that fight, or whether it was close or not, like, that's not something I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about positive things. I am thinking about the time that I'm going to have to dedicate to other things. I've been back fighting since 2008, back training probably the whole 2007 before I even came back. So it's a lot of time, a lot of dedication, and I did it. No regrets. Time to move on.
Let's talk about how your family plays into this decision. Obviously, your children are getting older and stuff, and do you feel that you need to be home more and be more of a father at this point in their lives?
Yeah, one day you wake up and your kids start to get big, and they want to go do things and be places, and you want to be with them. You want to be an important part of their lives. I think I don't know about anyone else's kids, but my kids are not very good at listening what I tell them to do, but they're pretty good at imitating anything that I do. And that's kind of how they started training jiu-jitsu. My kids started training jiu-jitsu last year. It was a big challenge initially. My son's diagnosed with autism, and he has a lot of sensory issues, some coordination issues. So for him to even do a warm-up in his first class was a challenge. For him to even sit through a 45-minute class was a challenge. But nowadays, he puts his gi on by himself. He asks to come to the academy, and these are things that I want to be a part of. And like, they are big for me. They are important for me, as well as developing some of the white belts that join the school, as well as developing the instructors, as well as helping the guys who fight, who are starting to fight, all the way up through Frankie. So I got a lot on my plate. I feel like I wasn't perhaps given all the time that I need to give to all these other tasks. And not that fighting was getting in the way. I don't want to call anything a burden, but I just need to refocus. And it was a good time. I'm 35 now. I'm not 25 anymore. Like, you got all these young guys coming up doing kicks off the fence and spinning elbows and things like that. It's time for me to sit back and watch and try to help some of my guys do that too.
What's next as your fight career comes to a close? You're now going to have a lot of extra time. Mm-hmm. Are you going to concentrate on your fight team, or are you going to concentrate on building your Ricardo Almeida jiu-jitsu schools? What's next for you in your career?
I have a ton of time to do a lot of the things that I love. Probably going to be doing a lot of surfing, but professionally, being here at the school and developing the school, we already have been able to schedule quite a few events. Something that I've been wanting to do for the longest time is a special needs class. So that's probably like my first project that I'm going to have here at the school, be able to bring kids with special needs and just help them out with sensory issues, coordination issues, and be here on the mats with them and helping them, helping their world, see their world in a little bit of a different way and gain a little bit of confidence from their physical and mental training here at the academy. But on the other side, I'll have plenty of time to, be watching video for when my guys fight, and I want to learn a little bit more about coaching too. I want to learn how to hold the pads better, and I was just training this kid holding pads, and just see from the different side, just helping guys out. And of course, I want to keep improving as a martial artist too. I want to go back to doing some tournaments with the gi, some tournaments without the gi. Keep learning a little bit more about boxing and then Muay Thai and wrestling. I think that the more the more I could absorb personally, the more I could pass on to the people around me, you know. So, but I'll be seeing it from a much different perspective now. It's not just not what I can do, but what I can help other people do. So, but you know, it's all about education. It's all about learning more and absorbing, so you can help the people around you.
Who would you talk to? Who would you rely on for this decision to retire? Did you talk to like Frankie? Did you talk to Renzo? I know those are two people that are, as far as fighting is concerned, that are very important to you. Did you talk to anybody as far as that decision went?
I did not talk to anyone in the MMA world because I knew, I know how much I love those guys personally. I know how much, you know, Renzo means to me. You know, Frankie's been like a brother to me since he's come to the team. You know, Mark Henry, our boxing coach. I knew that there was a big chance they could talk me out of it. So basically, I spoke to, you know, my family, my wife, my father, who's in Brazil, and they were very supportive. And you know, they ultimately, it was my decision. They left the decision up to me, but they just brought up some points and some things that they saw, and they helped me see the future in a positive way. And I think that's what you want, you know, like when you're done with something that they dedicated so much, like the next step is supposed to be good, not bad. You know, like if MMA was always a big part of my life, being a fighter was always a big part of my life, but it's not the only thing I am. You know, like, so that has helped shape, of course, my character. That has helped shape my personality. But it's not the only thing I can do, and everything that I have done, it's gotten me ready for the next step. You know, like all the training that I've done prior to fighting in the UFC has gotten me ready for that. Now all the fighting that I've done, you know, like all the people that I have met, all the dedication throughout the years, it's gotten me ready for the next step. A big part of it's going to be coaching. Another big part of it will be instructing jiu-jitsu. Even bigger part of it will be just being a happy guy, you know, going around this world, trying to make it better, not taking away from it.
What's it been like? I mean, what you hear from the UFC and what you hear from the fans and on Twitter and the ones you've talked to since, what's been the reaction like to your decision?
Man, you know, on all the social networks, from, you know, Twitter to Facebook, and you know, my email blew up, my phone, just like so much support. You know, I thought that, like, you never know what people are gonna say. You know, I fought for many years, and I've always tried to carry myself as a positive influence in the sport. So I've gotten like a ton of support from the fans. You know, they're great, and you know, there was a real nice article that came in UFC.com. I've known Daniel Lorenzo and Joe Silva from, you know, when they first bought Zuffa and they started putting the first UFCs here in Atlantic City, and I've always had like nothing but the greatest relationship with those guys. They've always been very supportive of me. When I came back to fighting in 2008, like, I took 5 years off. Nobody knew what I was doing, you know. UFC brings me back, and they put me on the main event on Super Bowl weekend, you know, in the car with Brock Lesnar and, you know, a bunch of guys, and, you know, they've always shown their trust in me, and I'll be forever grateful, you know, for the opportunity to be among the best martial artists in the world for as long as I have been, and now to be able to step away from it gracefully, you know, without having to like get like knocked out unconscious like 5 times in a row, and then people are like, Ricardo, get out of here.